September 28, 2002. That was one night that's given Bollywood superstar Salman Khan many sleepless nights over the last 13 years. A session court in Mumbai is all set to deliver its verdict tomorrow in the now infamous hit-and-run case in which Salman is charged with killing one person and injuring four others. Here's a flashback into the various twists and turns in this case over the last 13 years.
This picture is living testimony to Salman's problems. It's a picture of the ghost that has been haunting Salman for the last 13 years. The picture that has routinely interrupted the superstar's on-screen life with off-screen court appearances. So what exactly happened that night? That fateful night of 27 September 2002, Salman left his home with cousin Kamal Khan at about 9:30. Salman's bodyguard and Mumbai police constable Ravindra Patil met them outside the house. The three left for Rain Bar in Juhu, Mumbai. According to Ravindra Patil's testimony later, Salman drove the three of them on his white Toyota Land Cruiser to Rain Bar in Juhu. In his statement to the cops, Rain Bar manager Rizwan Rakhangi confirmed the presence of many celebrities in the bar that night. He claims to have seen Salman drinking some clear liquid. On leaving the Rain Bar, Salman went to Hotel JW Marriott, and after a while all three left for their home.
Salman had left the Rain Bar quite early to go to JW Marriott. Prosecution alleges that he had already consumed liquor by then. However, Salman's lawyer told the court that he had not had a single drop of liquor and what he had at the Rain Bar was only water. And he even had a driver to take him around the town that night.
Salman's white Toyota Land Cruiser reached Hill Road, Bandra at about 3 a.m. The SUV was allegedly speeding. Driver of the vehicle lost control and rammed the SUV into the American Express bakery. 5 people sleeping outside the bakery injured. 1 died later. Of the 4 injured, one, Niyamat Sheikh, told the cops that he was sleeping when the SUV hit him. He initially deposed that he had seen Salman getting off the right side or the driver's side of the SUV. But later, before the Chief Metropolitan Magistrate, Sheikh denied his statement. Said he did not see who was getting down from the driver's side of the vehicle.
After the accident, prosecution claimed that Salman had run away from the accident site and was nowhere to be found. However, defense said that Salman was very much at his residence. About 8 hours after the accident, Salman was arrested and taken to the hospital. First he was taken to the Bhabha hospital and then to JJ. At both these places his blood was drawn for testing.
Salman was arrested on charges of rash and negligent driving and later released on bail of only Rs 950. He was later rearrested on a serious charge of culpable homicide not amounting to murder. He spent 18 days in jail and again got out on bail. Mumbai police subsequently charge-sheeted Salman Khan under Motor Vehicles Act 1988 and Bombay Prohibition Act 1949. Apart from Section 3042 of the IPC, the 4 big charges made against Salman Khan were: Salman himself was at the driver's seat of the Land Cruiser when the accident happened. Salman was overspeeding at the time of the incident. Salman fled from the scene of crime after the accident, and Salman had consumed alcohol in excess of the prescribed limit that night. A majority of these allegations were based on the testimony of Salman's personal bodyguard Ravindra Patil. In his first statement to the police, Patil had said that Salman was drunk that night and insisted on driving the vehicle.
Constable Ravindra Patil, the complainant and the most important prosecution witness, died of tuberculosis a few years back. His testimony, his statement and his deposition in the court was the backbone of the entire prosecution case in the court.
But Salman's lawyers insisted that Ravindra Patil's testimony cannot be relied upon. They said that Patil was sleeping throughout in the car and did not know what happened.
Ashok Singh, Salman Khan's driver, came to the court and claimed that it was he who was driving and not Salman Khan. Salman Khan said that he was not drunk.
In his statement, JJ Hospital's Dr. Shashikant Pawar had said that Salman had initially refused to give his blood sample. He added that he could smell alcohol on the star's breath. However, the doctor backtracked in his statement to the magistrate, said it was difficult to determine whether Salman smelled of alcohol.
In total, there were about 28 witnesses presented in court to prove the case. 27 presented by the prosecution and one lone witness presented by the defense. The lone witness was Ashok Singh, Salman Khan's driver.
But the biggest twist in the case came right towards the fag end. On 28 April 2015, a man called Ashok Singh reached court claiming to be Salman's family driver. He said that it was him and not Salman Khan who was driving the Toyota Land Cruiser on that fateful night. The prosecution calling the driver's statement a sham. It was a trial that lasted 13 years. A total of 28 witnesses were produced, and Salman was asked 419 questions in court. The questions may have been different, but Salman's aim till the very end remained firm: to convince the court that he was not drunk that night and that he was not behind the wheels of the Toyota Land Cruiser on that ill-fated night. Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
It's going to be a restless night for the Bollywood superstar because tomorrow is Judgment Day. For a sense of the mood on the ground and in the courts, I want to go across now live to Mumbai. Joining us from there is Aba Singh. She's a well-known lawyer. She's been looking at this case very, very closely. With us also for a perspective on the impact this will have on Bollywood is Minty Tejpal, well-known film critic. With us is Gayatri Jayaraman. She's my colleague at India Today magazine, and she's been going to court. She's in fact had the opportunity to sit right next to Salman Khan while the court proceedings were going on. I want to go across to Gayatri Jayaraman first. You've been covering this case. You've been seeing Salman Khan in court. You've had an opportunity to have brief interactions with him. Give our viewers a sense of the atmosphere in the court while we wait for Judgment Day.
Rahul, on the few occasions that I've been in court with Salman, you have to understand that it's a very different Salman in court. It's not the larger-than-life Bollywood image that he's projecting. He comes in very subdued, very willing to sort of submit himself to the processes of the court. You don't see a swagger, you don't see the arrogance that one would associate with a Bollywood star. In fact, half of the time he slips in very unnoticeably. You would not know unless people around him turned around and sort of spotted him. There is a bench at the back which has ROP or accused written on it. He takes his place much like any other accused would. So there is no flamboyance that he portrays in court, and it's a very welcome sight to see him willing to submit and be submissive, especially if, as anyone who's interviewed Salman in person knows, he's an extremely restless and flamboyant person.
Okay, Abha Singh, how strong is this case? Now, we don't want to prejudge what might happen in court tomorrow. That, of course, is the judge's prerogative alone. But you've heard the arguments made by the prosecution and the defense. How strong does the case against Salman Khan appear to be? What could happen in court tomorrow?
See, when the criminal revision application was filed, at that time the case was an open shut case. The evidence was very strong because Raveen Patil, who was the bodyguard, his statement was in front of the magistrate, and Raveen Patil very clearly said that Salman was drunk. He was driving the vehicle at 90 to 100 km/h, and also he had warned Salman to go slow because there were people sleeping on the footpath. That is the prosecution witness 1. Whereas prosecution witness 14, that is the chemical analyst, his report clearly said that there was alcohol in Salman's blood, that is 0.062 mg, which is much high above the permissible level. And these were the two grounds which were given when his criminal revision was rejected by the Sessions Court. However, by the time this trial is coming to the logical conclusion, Salman's lawyers have brought in a person who says that it was Ashok Singh who was driving the vehicle, but not Salman Khan. However, there was a star witness who was in the vehicle, that is Kamal Khan, and his name was in the 64 witnesses who were supposed to depose, but I think somewhere the prosecution has muddled up, has failed, and they could not get Kamal Khan to come and depose, and that is why this confusion of Ashok Singh driver. So there are a lot of crucial witnesses who have been dropped, or they could not be, so somewhere the prosecution and the police, they have not been up to the mark, and so that is why tomorrow when the judgment comes, we have to keep our fingers crossed whether it is going to be culpable homicide not amounting to murder, or it is reduced to death by negligence, that is 304A, which is bailable.
And of course, the judge needs to pronounce on whether or not he believes that Salman Khan was at the wheels when this accident happened, because his defense claims that he actually wasn't driving, that somebody else was driving instead. Minty, Tejpal, what's at stake for Bollywood? Because you've got a big verdict coming in. This has already happened with Sanjay Dutt, not necessarily at the peak of his prowess, but you know, when he was still doing rather well in movies, he was forced out because he had a court case go against him. What's at stake for Salman Khan and for Bollywood tomorrow?
See, it's whenever you're involved in a case like this and what Salman is, so it's obviously going to be very trying and unfortunate for him and his family. And as far as Bollywood goes, I think Salman's had his run. He's been a big superstar, but he's in the fading years. So Bollywood will continue. There are, as of now, he just has 2 movies on the floors. So there's not many movies riding on him. So it's like a venture of 200 crores riding on him. So I don't think Bollywood, but more than that, the impact on Bollywood will be that you cannot get away with it. You mentioned Sanjay Dutt. He's also, both of them have that in common. They're both star children. They are from the industry. So you can't get away with breaking the law brazenly. I think that's the message that will go out.
Abha Singh, is that also something that will be looked at very closely? Does the law, if at all Salman Khan is found guilty, come down on him despite his presence as Bollywood's reigning superstar? He's still the most popular? Or do you believe that this will be completely and purely depending on and based on the merits of the case, and there are no extraneous factors at all?
See, if we go by the history of the case, then initially it started as a 304A, that is negligence, which was bailable. But then when it came to Sessions, it was made culpable homicide not amounting to murder. When Salman's lawyers went in appeal to the High Court turned down the Sessions Court orders of culpable homicide and again made it to 304A. Then the government went to the Supreme Court, and at that time the Supreme Court said that we will leave it to the trial court to decide what charges to be fixed after the witnesses are examined. This case kept lying for almost 9 years in the magistrate court only when we filed an intervening application where we said that the Bandra police has been protecting Salman Khan. It is purposely trying to delay the trial by not issuing the right summons to the doctors, and at that time the court was convinced and it issued summons to Salman Khan and also senior PI Bandra. We have asked for that the police has fabricated false evidence, and our application under 340 CRPC will also be decided tomorrow, and the judge will pronounce whether the policemen are guilty of delaying the case by producing false evidence and fabricating false evidence. So the imprisonment is 7 years in this case. So if you see the history, it is very difficult to say that it will be only on merits. It has been a roller coaster case all through, somewhere the police and the prosecution buckling to the celebrity pressure.
Okay, Gayatri, how much of a impact does the celebrity status of Salman Khan have in court? In his interaction with the court officials, in his interactions with lawyers, with the judge? Of course, when Salman Khan enters court, this is not any other regular trial. You've got Bollywood's biggest star in front of you. How much of a difference does that make? Describe that to our viewers, Gayatri.
Honestly, Rahul, from what I've seen in court, I don't see people addressing him or speaking to him in terms of him being a superstar. From whatever I've seen, the honorable judge seems extremely neutral, though that's not my place to sort of pass that judgment, but he does. He is just one other. There are often cases that are presented before his. He waits his turn like anybody else, and those cases are presented and then his is dealt with. There is the difference in terms of the media presence. Obviously, there are reporters there taking down everything that is happening. So in that sense, there is an added focus. There are fans. But like with any other accused, you have his family there. You have Alvira there, who's essentially his sister, who's his rock through the proceedings. His younger sister Arpita sometimes comes in, sits at the back quietly. Absolutely none of them draw attention or demand attention that a superstar family would in the normal course of things. So I do think that in terms of his presence in court, he has definitely been addressing it very much like any other accused would in the course of proceedings.
Okay, Minty, one final question. There's Bajrangi Bhaijaan and Prem Ratan Dhan Payo, which are supposed to be in the final stages of completion. Then there is Dabang 3, Entry May No Entry. These are films he's committed to. Do we know what stage are these films at? There's also Big Boss, which he's a part of, Big Boss 7. Now because naturally the last thing a filmmaker will want is uncertainty, or do you believe that the star status of Salman Khan is so big that Bollywood will rally around him, be by his side, regardless of the legal troubles he may be in, Minty?
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about that, Rahul, that Bollywood will rally around Salman, because he's not only is he an immensely popular superstar, but he's very popular in the industry. There are legions of story how he has stood by actors, and he has a very strong support base, and somewhere there is a lot of sympathy for him. So of course Bollywood will stand by him. As for the movies you discussed, there are just those two will get affected, which are 80 or 90% complete. The ones that haven't gone on the floors as yet, the other ones you mentioned, that's just time wasted. Somebody spend a year or two putting the script together, that's all the time. There's no money that goes to waste. The money only goes to waste in these two cases. Yeah?
Well, there's a lot at stake here when we hear from the courts what the verdict in this big case is. Salman Khan, Judgment Day tomorrow, and you can watch continuing coverage all through the day right here on Headlines Today. Gayatri, Abha Singh, Minty Tejpal for joining us on the newsroom tonight. Thank you very much. This will indeed be a sleepless, restless night for Bollywood's biggest superstar.